Well, here we go again. Harry and Meghan are back with another Montecito money grab. The Duke and Duchess of Privacy have embarked on a phony royal tour. They went to the Middle East, would you believe? I wish I was joking. Great timing, great timing. The pair travelled to Jordan to support efforts by the World Health Organization. Meghan, trying to be Mother Teresa, put on her best acting efforts at a refugee camp hospital, and Harry there loitering in the background as always, following Meghan's every lead. And the Prince even felt the need to insert himself into global issues.
The aid corridors need to be opened. They're currently not. And I know Dr. Tedros has already talked extensively about food and medical supplies, the basic needs for full access for humanitarian organisations to be able to deliver that aid to the people that need it the most.
What on earth is this guy on about? 600 to 800 aid trucks enter Gaza daily with food, shelter supplies and medical equipment. That's 4,200 trucks a week. To break this down, I'm now joined by royal commentator Angela Levin. Angela, a pleasure to have you on. What on earth were the pair doing in the Middle East?
Well, I think they haven't been seen very much successfully, particularly Meghan hasn't. And so, they come up with an idea, but I think it's the worst idea they could have managed because they didn't think it through and they turned up and made things extremely awkward. But actually to go to this hospital was a ridiculous thing, actually, because they don't know anything about it. But ironically, one of the children and one of the men there was going to have an amputation. And you should have seen Meghan's face because, that's the word what her father had, and she didn't want to know anything about it. And she was standing there absolutely looking terrified. And because he's going to have a prosthetic leg put back into his very soon. And she's not interested, not going. But there she was looking at lots of people that she didn't know. And trying to be nice to them. She came by plane, but she's not going to fly out and see her father. And I just thought, that's really awful. It just shows that she just can't be bothered with her father, who looked after her so long and nicely during her teenage years, which is always the hardest time to have children, isn't it? Look after them. And she's just not interested. So I just thought it was some shocking thing to do. But what else was shocking was that they were talking all about what's going on and what you just read about that there's no food and there's nothing going on. But that was, Israel. They did work together with Hamas, of all people, to know that they would go through special roads. And I think it was finished in the middle of August 2025. So Harry doesn't know what on earth he's doing, really. And that's just terrible to bring that in. They're not diplomats. They're not representing the royal family. They've got no office at all. And they still want to pretend that they're very important. They saw that the English embassy and they turned up and they were trying to get in, which they had done for a long time. They would have given the impression that in England, that's what we feel about. It's sort of taken over from the King and Prince Andrew and Prince William. And it would be very, very difficult to deal with it. It's a shocking thing to do, but they wanted to go in there and actually, I think, destroy the royal family, because you can't go in and give them something that they've done when they haven't talked about it. And it's a very, very dangerous thing to do. So that's what he did. And it's just a way of making money and being seen. And lots of photographs. They were on all the newspapers everywhere. And that's what they want, particularly Meghan, but also Harry. But they're not getting on well. If you saw that Meghan was trying to touch him all the time, hold hands, pushing him this way, that, and he kept moving his hands out the way. He didn't want to have anything to do with her. He was furious and he was very sulky. I don't know why. They might have had a row. But they're very peculiar that they let people see what they feel about each other. And he was very cross with her. And she doesn't like it if she's not got one hand in his and the other round his arm, so that he's not going to move anywhere.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they're basically, masquerading as foreign policy experts on the world stage when, as you said, they've got no clue whatsoever. And